Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Binding of Isaac Repentance, and today I'm gonna be serving you a very special episode, because today we're gonna be unlocking some of the most prestigious Repentance content, and obviously heavy spoilers ahead. I'm gonna let you know when we actually get to that point, but if you're not afraid of that, if you're not afraid to stare into the abyss, stay with me and we're gonna go in there together. And I'm so excited to show you some of this because I dipped my toes into it yesterday. I saw what it had to offer. I didn't do anything because it was very late and I was very tired. But it was just enough for me to get me properly excited for today. So hopefully that's enough of a hype train. I won't tell you anything about it. I'll just let it play out as soon as it happens. So if you haven't seen it and you want to experience it in this format, then I'll just let you experience it organically, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if not, if you've seen it before, great. Hopefully you can be excited for me. But before we get to that point, we have a ways to go. Obviously, you cannot expect it to be on the first floor. So until then, I'll distract you with some anecdotes because I actually experienced something rather crazy yesterday. It might not seem crazy to some of you, but to me it was a whole new world. So I consider myself someone who likes playing games. I find them to be an engaging sort of way to spend my free time, right? Because with movies, I mean, I love movies, don't get me wrong, but with movies, oftentimes you just end up kind of sitting there, and if you're not feeling well, if you're tired, it's very easy to space out. But with games, you can't really afford that unless you're really tired and you can't focus at all. Obviously, that's different, but most of the times you're just a little tired, and a little tired means you're okay enough to actually engage with the game on with some mental capacity, and that's what I enjoy about games. That's why I play hard games, and I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand some people play games for entirely different reasons. Some just want to relax and just want to have a nice good time, and that's all fair and good. But what I witnessed yesterday on the bus was probably the most insane example of a gamer I've ever seen. So there was this woman on the bus, and she was playing solitaire on her smartphone. Okay, so what's the big deal? Why are you shaming this poor lady? She's just playing solitaire. I mean, I'm not here to shame anyone playing solitaire. I don't enjoy the game myself, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But what I do have, or what was peculiar to me in yesterday's case, was the fact that she was playing automatic solitaire of sorts, which basically means she didn't even have to drag the cards around to get into the point where she wanted. And basically, she just clicked, and then the program did all the decisions for her. Now, I don't know if this is a standard feature in solitaire games these days, but the way she played it, at least, was kind of insane to me, because she didn't play it like a solitaire game. She didn't think about where the cards are supposed to go and where they're supposed to come from and when to turn over the deck. She was just randomly mashing her screen in hopes that one of the cards is gonna go somewhere, and she literally tapped the same card like 5 times or more. And I think the biggest crime here is the fact that she was so engaged while doing it. She was totally engrossed. She didn't know what the hell was going on around her. She's just sitting there, mashing her screen, hoping the cards were gonna go in the spots she wanted them to go. And honestly, like I said, one of the most insane experiences I've ever seen. This is not how I feel games should be played. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, I know there's a huge market for AFK games and the sort, like clicker games, where you as a player don't really have to do anything. You just watch the numbers go up and the dopamine hits. But those games are designed to kind of trigger your dopamine receptors, right? Solitaire is not. Solitaire is a card game. It's a card game with a standard deck of cards. And I'm not saying it won't get your dopamine rolling, but it's not designed. It wasn't designed to do that to you, right? So that's why I feel like, oh, that's a good item. I'm gonna take it. Have a lot of tier upgrades. I'm a fan, just need some damage and we're good to go, basically. And it's important we do well on this run. So I'll do my due diligence to try and eke out every little bit I can. Just so I can really get to the point I want to be. Okay, so this is okay, because I can just re-roll it. I'll play it a couple more times just to get more health. I have 2 spirit hearts. I feel I can afford it. This is what I'm talking about. Now, we're popping off. That's now we get a nice shop item. We go to the next floor. We unlock some stuff there. It's gonna be great. So solitaire. yeah, it was just a wild ride, like in the literal and the non-literal sense, and I just didn't know what to really think of it. So I'm thinking of just doing this, duplicating it, right? And then I can use my newly charged D6 to just reroll everything. If that teleported me to the error room, I'd be very disappointed. And we get an eternal heart as well. This is just fantastic. Okay, so Scooper and the Boomerang. Both less than ideal items. I'm not really prepared to use either of them. Now, we do have a 2-room charge here, but it's just not what I'm looking for. So I think we're gonna say thank you. We're gonna go to the alternate floor, hopefully get 2 or 3 items. And then we're gonna continue on our merry way to the regular floor, actually. So we're not gonna take the alternate path today. We're gonna take another different path, the regular path. I mean, I know why I said different. It's what we're used to at this point. You could say it is the most familiar path. So I did make it to be a little bit bigger of a deal than it is. So that was an amazing fly swat. Okay. So I do need to focus, like I said. I feel like if we're gonna go into nuke territory, I don't want to end this with a loss. I mean, if I end up dying, that's fine, that's life. But if I can manage to produce a W for YouTube, that would be great. Just to make a more engaging video. So again, doing terrible so far. I mean, I did only get hit twice, I know. But I feel like I love these enemies which only have reflections. Just I don't know, they just feel kind of menacing to me, but I always forget this guy comes out of nowhere, so I'm always like, where's the boss? So he shoots vertically. I still haven't gotten used to some of the new boss pets. I mean, I've seen them like 3 times, so what can you expect? Yeah, see, like, he should never hit me there. Okay, so he's gonna dash, I remember this much. Yeah, so the leech, like, I don't know. it's a difficult boss, I think. I literally can't dodge here. Ah! Okay, so that didn't go well. I almost died. Dinner. Well, if I knew that was dinner, I would have rerolled it. That's fine, don't worry about it. We have health. Actually, dinner healed us, which is a great little change. I'm not sure that's new, but it feels new. I don't think it's restored any health when you used to pick it up. But then again, to be fair, I never had any red health to begin with in the previous versions of the game. I always had Spirit Heart, so maybe that's just going on. So the real bummer about me taking damage there is not that I almost died, which is a big bummer, but it's mostly because now I didn't secure either a Devil Deal or an Angel Deal for the next floors. And like I said, I feel like if you're gonna get stronger, that's gonna be an obvious avenue to get there. Blood Bombs? Decent, another health upgrade, so we have a ton of red health now, which can be leveraged into something more productive. So blood bombs actually have another effect. I randomly read this online. Well, that's not fantastic. I don't know why I buy sex. I don't think buying sex is worth it, or it might be. I mean, like, on a coin basis, if you see that the value of a bomb or a key is 5 cents, then I think you're gonna get more out of that sack than just a key and a bomb in the average case. Usually you get at least 2 drops. But because you don't know what you're gonna get, like 5 cents for a key feels like a lot, considering 15 cents is a complete item. Like for 3 cents, I wouldn't think about it, or if it was half price. Again, I get hit in the most unglamorous of ways. So this reminds me, actually, there was an update, a patch actually, which fixed some of the bugs and also addressed some of the balancing issues. I think the most prominent ones was actually Curse of the Blind. So now in the Curse of the Blind, the light around you is actually much larger, so it's much easier to see enemies, which is a great change because my monitor just cannot handle darkness. And this is a great buff until I get a new monitor, which is gonna happen at some point in the future. And then the second change, which I felt was important, so basically the new Devil Deals made it so if you don't have the exact health you need to get an item, you just wouldn't be able to take it, which is a bummer because sometimes you might have like Spirit Hearts or Red Hearts and you could trade an extra and not die because, for example, if I picked up 9 lives, then you would get an extra health, right? So Meat Cleaver seems like an item I'm interested in. I don't know what it does, but Okay, so, oh, it's an active item. Okay, so I'll just reroll it then. Apple, also good. So yeah, they changed basically that if a devil deal requires spirit hearts, then you're actually able to oh, okay. You're actually able to take it even if you have a surplus. Obviously, if the item is not gonna give you more spirit hearts in return, you're just gonna end up dying, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what the items do. So how did that hit me? Oh, these guys shoot. I thought it was one of the little heads that shot me, but it was just the big guys. There's a lot of random bullets coming from enemies, I've noticed, especially on alternate floors, so you do need to be extra careful until we learn the patterns and what exactly which enemy does. The tower seems like a good card to use in this situation, but I don't want to get hit once and waste my devil deal, so I'll just stick to my regular tiers for now. Okay. Again, sometimes I don't even know what hits me. That's I should have rerolled that. Now that I think about it, I was thinking I can't get any more charges, but the fact is I'm gonna go to the mirror world and then I'm gonna get more rooms there, and I would be able to recharge it. So a little bit of a blunder on my part. I might use the tower here to hopefully try and get this blown up. Not sure how effective that was, but it wasn't. The bombs would be nice, so I'm willing to buy a bomb here if it's on sale to get. It's not, so that's a bummer. Hopefully we get another one. So yeah, so what I was trying to say, there was also another thing I read about blood bombs, and the fact is, even if you don't have any bombs, you can actually end up using them for the cost of a half red heart, I think. And I won't use it here because I feel like that might take away my holy mantle, but I can do it in the non-mirror world, and hopefully I can showcase you what I mean. And if we don't get any bombs, I'll just risk it. I mean, half of a red heart is not a big deal. I'm just being needlessly protective. And I'm thinking, actually, considering we won't go the alternate floor, we can just reroll the key piece and kind of guarantee ourselves an item. And that's actually exactly what I might do. And this is not ideal, but it might give you, it does get us closer to the bookworm transformation. I'll try to fight the boss, if I don't get hit, of course. And the fact, one of the new changes I really like to Holy Mantle, or just Holy Mantle effects in general, is the fact that it's very obvious when you get hit now. Back in the day that wasn't obvious, and sometimes you just end up dying. I mean, you can see how often it happens to me that I get hit and I'm like, I don't know what hit me. And back in the day it was just even harder to see because the Holy Mantle didn't have this nice effect on top of everything. I feel like you just wanna make sure this guy is as far away from you as possible, and you need to kill the leeches because they can bounce off in weird directions. Yeah, so thought this might happen. Okay, please don't hit me. I know saying please don't do anything, but okay. So a speed upgrade again is not exactly what I was looking for, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna use the bombs now, considering I probably won't get anything else out of this floor. So this was purely what let's say a raid situation. Spirit heart, nice. And a purely raid situation, just for me to get a bit more items and get a bit stronger. So Joss, I think, is a nice floor for that. I'm not sure about the mines though. Like the mines, I don't think you can get many extra items. Like we can go to the spirit and get some there, but I'm not too big of a fan of that. Just because I still feel like it's a bit precarious and it's very easy to get hit. So in that sense, I'll just leave the floor and go back via the normal path. And also it's gonna be a bit more, just because I'm more used to these floors, it's gonna be a bit more likely for me to guarantee the devil deal and not get hit too many times. So that's my reasoning for now. In the future, I feel like surely there's an optimal path that you can take for how easy it is and how many items you can get. And I feel like for now this is it for me, at least with my skill level, because the first two alternate floors aren't that much harder compared to okay, just stay away. The new troll, I feel like the super troll bombs got a range buff, because I feel like they hit me way more often. And that's a bummer. I will use the bomb here. It's nice. Not what I expected, but... Okay, so here's Flush. An item which I definitely disrespect. It's useful, it can clear rooms, but we need something else now. And an odd mushroom gives you a little bit of a speed downgrade. Is not a problem, we got a lot of speed upgrades. That's fantastic. I will use another bomb here, actually. I feel like this is just a good investment. See, got a bomb back in 3 cents on top of that, so... That's what I believe we would call stonks. Perfect. And the little red creeps. So another thing I read about online about Repentance is that bombs are apparently much stronger, especially against bosses. And apparently they also ignore armor. So if your run is weak, I feel like one of the things we'll have to get used... Again, I could have just rerolled this. We'll eke out every little bit we can from this shrine, because it needs to be a strong one, and then I just end up taking rid of it. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, bombs are apparently a lot stronger. So if you're having trouble, or if you have a weak run, but you have a lot of bombs, it might be useful actually to start incorporating bombs into your play. And that's definitely something I've ignored for the most part. Devil Deal, perfect, and I definitely takeable considering how much red health we have if we get something good. And Incubus, by all accounts, is good. Also, another thing I should have obviously done is get enough charges so I could reroll the Devil Deal. Again, all of that Isaac food that was encoded into my brain when I played it every single day for like 7 hours during college is kind of gone now, but it's coming back. It's coming back. Like, just give me another 100 runs and we're gonna be at our peak performance. Like, I can tell you that much. And this is what it is about Isaac. Like, Isaac really is a knowledge game more than a skill game. Just knowing how to strategize your active items, your consumables, it makes a huge difference. Like, those little things add up over the course of a run, or even multiple runs if you're doing streaks. Knowing you can shoot these things diagonally to get a Hierophant, you know, could be a run difference. And it's a very minor thing in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so Incubus, a great get. I feel a lot better with it. I'm not sure how it stacks with that shot. I never was. Maybe it has its own thing going on. Maybe like as soon as one of us misses, the thing resets. But it doesn't really matter. So I feel like a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I don't really know who I'm referring to here, but I do feel to an extent the inclination when you're playing with that shot. You're trying to get just as many bullets possible. Like you're trying to be as accurate as possible, but I feel like doing that, because you're trying to be so careful with your ammunition and your accuracy, ends up actually hurting you in the end run, because what ends up happening is you still focus on getting more hits and you actually slow down your fire rate, so it ends up being an overall DPS decrease instead of an increase. So I think that the right way to play with this item is basically just treat it as a regular damage upgrade and just shoot enemies, and sometimes you're gonna get a little bit of a boost and sometimes you're not gonna get. Obviously try to be as accurate as possible, but the idea is if you never... I think the DPS is maximized when you never let down the fire button, and I feel like that goes against the nature of how it was designed, how the item was designed, because it doesn't really promote you being more accurate in any sense, but you have to play what's optimal, not how the game has been designed. And you know, that's why we have a lot of grief. That's usually where the disconnect between the designer and the player comes in, because the player just wants to optimize everything and the designer wants to make the game fun for people to play and just create it more engaging again. Sometimes there's a disconnect and sometimes that's a problem. Okay, so do I have another anecdote? We have like another floor and then we're gonna get into some spoiler territory, so I can't be too long here. But I was thinking, you know, like one of those old school games, like I was thinking of Solitaire because I saw this woman playing it on her phone. And it's really been a while since I played anything like it, like even Spider Solitaire. Like, I'm still not sure what the difference is, like why some people prefer one or the other. I mean, I know that like the game plays differently, obviously, and I know there's some different mechanics. Like Spider Solitaire always felt like a more accomplished. That was close. Felt like a more accomplished, like a more fun version. Like if Solitaire got a patch, a DLC, let's say, or like a sequel, maybe even. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But I was just thinking, like, I haven't played either of those games in forever, and it was such a surprise to see that people, like, in this day and age, when we really have a ton of games on the market, still play these classics, even like Tetris and stuff like that, right? I'm not saying these are bad games by any means, but I'm saying, like, if you're someone who's new to gaming, there's so many good choices, like even games that are better designed to be more introducible, but I guess to an extent it's just familiarity, right? Especially because this lady seemed to be a little bit older. I'm not saying old, but definitely not someone who grew up with gaming. So she's probably more familiar with Solitaire, like it was installed on literally every Windows PC. And those are in abundance, as we all know. So seeing those games have that kind of staying power is actually... So let's just deal with this. So we reroll this. Nothing useful in there for us. We're gonna reroll this HP up, and that's gonna be great. See, now I'm playing with my brain. I just noticed this. Let's bomb it. The upgraded trait of Tinted Rocks makes them feel so much better. I enjoy it a lot more than what it used to be. Just because I like the mechanic. Just finding something and then utilizing it to the best of your advantage. It just feels good. So I'm thinking of how to get to that key in the middle. And I think this might be the easiest way. Create a little path for myself. Because I want to get to the shop and the treasure room and only had one key, so... So yeah, like I was saying, like, seeing those games have that kind of staying power is kind of insane to me. And even Tetris 99, which is on Switch now, again, you know, it feels like it's a different format to something that people are used to, so it feels more interesting. But how many just Tetris players are out there? Not a lot, I would say. Obviously, there's some dedicated fans, and that's great, obviously. It's the fact that communities can revolve around the game, which has been pretty much solved to an extent, right? That's my understanding, at least. Maybe I'm wildly out of date, but I feel like the optimal strategies for Tetris have been known. And basically, it's just the execution, because it's sort of an arcade game. That's wild. It's really wild. And then I was thinking of one of those of the pinball game on also Windows machines, which was very common. It was. I don't think it was a particularly good game. Like, I wouldn't say it was a game that was well designed. I mean, it was just pinball, basically, and pinball is fun in itself. Like, just playing pinball brings people a lot of joy, and it's understandable, because it's one of the earliest versions of those dopamine hit games, where the entire point is for things to have bright lights and to go like ding 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 ding. And you just get like a lot of like a rush from it, especially whenever you sing that ball or hit like a very crucial element in the machine. And that's just, it's fantastic. I love pinball. I think it's one of those underrated gems that maybe has gone a little bit awry in the previous years. It's not as appreciated. It's not as common anymore. And I feel like that's a huge shame. I know there's a community out there, like a dedicated pinball community, who are trying to kind of keep it alive, but it's the same. I mean, it's the same with any retro thing, I feel like. Vinyls, jazz. I mean, I said jazz because I watched La La Land not too long ago. I feel like jazz is fine. Jazz is not gonna go anytime soon. I just remembered it from that scene where Seb is like, jazz is dying. See the new room? This is gonna be important, but not yet. Not yet. We have to get to Mom first. But I think jazz is doing fine. Like, it's definitely not as popular as, I don't know, Cardi B. And honestly, I hope it never is. Nothing against Cardi B. It's just that amount of fame feels like it corrupts people. It corrupts the essence of what is. I feel like this is the ultimate dream of any creator. Like, you want to be just successful enough that you're sustainable, but not too successful, because I feel like to an extent that like it ruins the sense of little community you have. I mean, again, it depends on like what you're trying to create. If you're a big media brand, obviously you're trying to maximize the amount of money. Like you're trying to milk Cardi B for every little cent she's worth. But if you're just like a little jazz club owner, like you're hoping to keep your business to a point where you're sustainable, you have a comfortable living, you know, people come in, have a nice time, but it's not too crowded, so everybody who enjoys it can genuinely come in and enjoy it. Because it's more about the message, like just about keeping a legacy alive, right? At least that's how it feels to me. I don't know if maybe this is too idealistic, maybe everyone is in it for the money these days. I choose to believe that's not the case, because that would kind of suck. Because then libraries have no reason to exist. Like, libraries are, in essence, one of the crowning pieces of human civilization, right? They're a free repository of all of humanity's knowledge, and they're essentially free. And not just knowledge, like, not just books. Like, libraries have everything. Like, they have clubs, you have readings. Our library has, like, a child reading where people can actually come and, like, leave their kids for the afternoon. And it's essentially daycare when you think about it. But it's not branded, like, it can be branded as that legally. They have movies, you know, it's just a ton of things, honestly. Clicker, I see this a lot, I hate Clicker. I can't wait to unlock more items just to see Clicker less. That's what I'm trying to say here. Clicker is a good item, it's just too much work to get around, and like changing characters when you're unlocking stuff is just a little bit annoying. You really want to like focus on that one character you're playing as. So libraries, like next time you go to your local library, say thanks to the people working there, because they're doing us a service. I know membership for our library is like €5 a month, like a year. Like it's a ridiculously low amount, and I'm like, this is not enough to keep you sustained. Like it's like, no. We live off government's money, obviously, like you need some grants or something to survive. And again, if you don't like socialism, maybe that's a bit iffy. But the fact that, like, as a person living in a country or in a town, having access to that is fantastic. I don't go to the library too often anymore, because, you know, times change. I feel like books primarily require a lot of time. Like, you need to sit down and read, and, you know, I don't mind doing that. It's just there's so many things to do and so many exciting things to do. And I've always been a bit more of a kinetic person. I always enjoyed doing things that engage me more. And books can be engaging, obviously, of course, but it's still more of a passive thing than something that requires you to turn on your brain. Like, unless you're reading maybe some high science stuff or philosophy or whatever. But in that case, it's less light reading. Like, it's just a different purpose, I feel. Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm stumbling around here, but the crucial thing to get this to work is to find, there it is, we need to find this. And basically another thing we have to do, maybe I'm too late for this, but you need to drop a trinket. This is not necessary, by the way, it's just recommended for some unlocks. You need to drop a trinket in a treasure room or a boss room, I think. You might need to do it on one of the previous floors, but it has to be on one of these floors. And this is where the spoilers begin, okay? So if you don't like it, look away. Not recommended for kids under 3, probably. But basically you have to beat Mom. Everything is standard so far. And this is shouldn't be too difficult. Red Mom is not the hardest Mom, you just need to stay focused. You need to get into the rhythm of her stomping down. And that's fantastic. Okay, almost got in there. Then you take the negative. Now, ideally, what would happen is you would be fast enough to get to boss rush. You would take an item in full card out, because that gives you an extra item. But if that doesn't happen, that's nothing to be concerned about. You get a negative or the Polaroid. You come to this door, and then magic happens, okay? Oh my god. Love this room. It looks genuinely fantastic. Like, the purple fires really add a certain era to it, a certain atmosphere. And now we're in the mausoleum. and we're fighting some new enemies. You might be saying, well, this looks oddly familiar. Oh, just you wait. If this seems familiar, just you wait. You know what I'm saying? And basically from this point forward, we're just gonna do the most obvious thing, and that's beat some of these enemies. Like, what the hell is this guy? Like, that's ridiculous. That's projectile blood vomit, and he's bouncing around like one of those flies. And these enemies have a ton of HP. Like, honestly, it takes quite a bit to kill them. Like, I mean, I don't have a particularly strong run, because I just didn't get like super good items, and I misplayed a little bit with my D6 usage. Okay. The music is also, like, listen to it, it's fantastic. A lot of brimstones here. So, is this better? I feel like I should have re-rolled, admittedly, and then seen like which item to take. With 4 items and 2 being unknown, re-rolling is, I feel like, increases the chances of you getting a good item greatly. And even though I did that like mental math in my head, still didn't stop me from just picking up the random item. I don't know, it's a compulsion. Like, seeing a random item, you're like, it could be deck X, and you just pick it up. It's a disease. It's a disease of the gambling, and I mean, we have to admit, everyone who plays Isaac has a little bit of a gambling addiction, just by the nature of the game. That's fine. Some of these... Oh, right, this guy's whip. And their whips are super long. That's always surprises me. I like these enemies which have brains detached from their bodies. Mostly because they're easy, but also because they look really cool. And I'm really just enjoying the revelry here. And one thing I really like, so... I mean, hopefully it's not too big of a spoiler to mention that this leads to yet another final boss. But the fact that there's so many like different paths you can take to get to the final boss, like, they're not so interchangeable anymore. And I think that's actually really cool. I'll take this because I have PhD. I misread that sprite. I thought it was the guy who... I just... then dodge that one. I was the guy which shoots vertically and then horizontal. I mean diagonally and then in all 4 cardinal directions. I'll try one more bomb. Nice. Rainbow Worm is okay. Oh, right. I remember. That's no, don't re-roll it. I mean, I don't know what happens if you re-roll it. It's just... Now we're in Mausoleum 2 again. I'll be like, wait, what? We were just here. You spent our savings? Oh my god, we're witnessing a divorce. It's the cruelest fate that anyone can observe, right? I mean, this is what makes this game scary. It's not the fact that you have all these monsters trying to destroy you. It's your mother trying to like hurt you. I mean, that's too obvious, but like seeing it in action, because like up until this point it's all in your head. Like, you can, I feel like to an extent you can just turn it off, but now when you're hearing it, like, it's your fault, you're gonna get a divorce, it's like, oh, please don't. We're going in reverse? I mean, we're going up. Does this mean we're going to heaven? And the point of me dropping that trinket there was to get to this point, because then you get cracked key. And you see that there's like a red outline here. I'm not gonna use it here though, I'm gonna use it somewhere else. Red key is one of the new items which was added, and has a fantastic effect. I won't spoil it if you're not aware. But basically what we're trying to do, so we're going back up to smaller floors, and we're trying to look for these light beams to take us even further up. When she says, we'll be fine without you? Knowing Isaac's history, or like future, I guess. she lied. Then completely not fair. I thought there was a door up there, but it wasn't. We're just able to use crack key to get there. Caves too. See, like like the cool part about this is that we're revisiting the exact same floors we were on, so no matter which path you take, you'd always go back up the same way you went down. And like the implications of that is what's scary to me, because you're going up through light beams. Like it really feels like Isaac is dead and you're going to heaven, which is better than going to hell, admittedly, and fighting Mega Satan, but it just feels a little bit more ominous. It's not too happy, and like the whole distorted music effect. Okay, so I don't know if you're gonna... How much health in God's name do you have? Okay, so this is ridiculous, actually. Hit me 4 times. That's a nasty room to deal with. I will take a health. I mean, I'm glad to have as much red health as I do, because this is, I mean, like I said, genuinely difficult. Downpour 2. And here the riff. The riff from that gave me chills. That was so good. And I think the further you go up, the harder these enemies are. And again, somebody went through all the trouble. I didn't even hear her talking in the background until my last sentence. Oops. But somebody went through the trouble of creating new enemies just for this particular area of going up, and that's so cool. Like, I said it, I'll say it again. The amount of work that went into Repentance is staggering, and I'm here for it. So I can take this. I can't take that one. I got this room before, but I feel like you need to have a teleport or something to go there, which I don't. These big leeches, I love their teeth. It's so cool. Okay, another take me up, beam me up, Scotty. Probably an overused joke that everyone will make when they get to this point, but hey. little skedaddles on the Oh my god, so this guy shoots out 3 beams. One thing I really like about these paths, which end prematurely, which don't allow you to go further, is that at this point, I mean, to be fair, you did get all the treasure rooms you're gonna get, so you're probably about as strong as you're gonna be, but still, you haven't received all opportunity to get as strong as you could possibly be. So it feels a little bit self-balancing in that way, because you're only gonna be as strong unless you have a bunkers run. So in that sense, it seems like an interesting balance perspective. I should probably use these pills in these rooms. Still, not sure how to deal with that, because the tears come from upstairs. Thank you. Always trips me up. Okay, go another floor up. We're in basement 1. This is where our journey started. Your son needs you. He said something. I didn't hear what though. So is this guy gonna die? How much health does he have? Balls of Steel, an excellent get. Again, I should use it in another room, but considering how much health these people have, it's insanity. The fact that basement 1 becomes the hardest floor when you go up is also kind of thematically cool. Another ball. I mean, keep on coming, dude. I will not say no to this room either, because there's just red hells galore, and I will not I'm almost at full health going into the last floor. Oh my god, it's the starting point. Hope you're ready. I'm not. We're in a different dimension now. We're home. Oh my god. Oh, we can't sleep? Okay. Can I bomb this? It seems like it did something. I'm just not sure what exactly. Oh, wait, I can just leave and re-enter. Oh. Damn. There's a key here. You go here. There's a nice TV. This is where Mama watches her favorite TV soap operas. You can see that there's something here. We use it. Who's that? We unlocked Isaac. That's so weird. Can open this to get... It's fine. Range actually, I think, might be very useful. And this is Mom's room. She has her lipstick here, her purse, the Bible, of course. The mirror, her mirror. And we can sleep in her bed. I assume Isaac has a nightmare here. You can see the TV. What? Am I right? We need to destroy the TV. It's the source of all sin. So, how cool is that, right? I mean, just genuinely a fantastic little... But it's so aesthetic too. Oh my god. This is not looking good for me. Okay. Okay, so we got through the TV. Now it's time to go to get through the what the hell, whatever this is. Okay, didn't even know it could do that. Oh my god, this is not looking good. There it is. Okay, so I guess it'll just do these attacks. I don't know how to... My issue with this attack is I don't know how to damage him while he's doing it. I guess it's just a matter of dodging. Oh my god, this is so difficult. I think I'll end up dying. Again, he's doing the spinny attack. I'm not sure if he's supposed to do this, because yesterday he didn't do it even once. But it's genuinely difficult to dodge. Oh my god, so... It'll definitely take a bit to get used to this, but just how cool is this? Like, just genuinely, how cool is all of this? Wow. I'm always in shock, and by always I mean literally the second time. The first time I was losing my mind. It's just, I need to gush a little bit more. It's the entire sequence. Getting up through the floors in reverse, getting to this boss. The TV is like feels so symbolic. This thing comes out, Isaac sleeps on his mom's bed, has a nightmare, which makes so much sense. And then, like, because Isaac associates everything bad with TV and his mom, like, it's just so good. And I don't know, like, if there's anything else beyond this point, because this is kind of where I died yesterday. So I feel like there's a bit more, because this boss in particular feels maybe not as strong. Like, it feels like if it had a bit of a stronger run, it'd just be over already. But yeah, I'm so excited to figure out the secrets of this game and see what the hell happened with our new Isaac unlock. I mean, well, how does that work? With all of that said, hopefully I set up some of the interesting elements for the next episode. We're gonna come back here. Obviously, we're gonna maybe try a new Isaac, a different Isaac, and hopefully I'll see you there. So until then, I hope you have a nice day, nice time, nice day. I guess it's a day. Yeah, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.